Listen, the world don't break you with what happens, it breaks you with how you react. A man who can master his emotions, master his mind, and master his energy becomes a force nobody can stop. Because while everybody else is out here moved by anger, jealousy, fear, or hate, you stand solid, unshaken, focused on the marathon. When you begin to understand that control is power and reaction is weakness, your entire way of seeing the world starts to shift. Most people live their lives controlled by what others say, by what happens in the streets, by what family or friends do to them, by how strangers treat them. Their peace is fragile because they have handed it over to the world. The smallest insult can throw them off track, a disagreement can steal their focus, a minor inconvenience can ruin their day. That is weakness, because it means your emotions are like a puppet being moved by someone else's hands. True power comes when you don't allow outside forces to decide how you feel, how you move, and what you give your energy to. When you choose your response instead of reacting automatically, you reclaim control of your own life. That is the difference between somebody who survives and somebody who rises. Think about how many battles are lost because of a quick reaction. A man gets angry in traffic, fights with a stranger, and suddenly his future is changed by one mistake. Another man hears gossip, reacts in rage, and ruins relationships that could have built his success. That is reaction, and it is weakness because it is controlled by impulse instead of vision. The strong man understands that every reaction is a choice. He sees the trap when someone tries to provoke him, and instead of taking the bait, he stays calm, keeps his focus, and lets the other person reveal themselves. Power is not about being the loudest in the room, it is about being the one who cannot be moved. Control requires discipline. It is not natural at first because the human instinct is to fire back, to prove yourself, to defend your pride, but pride has destroyed more lives than patience ever has. When you learn to hold your emotions in check, when you stop letting the outside world dictate your inside world, you start operating on a higher frequency. Suddenly, you are not moved by disrespect because you know who you are. You are not moved by hate because you know your mission. You are not moved by fear because you trust your vision. That level of control makes you untouchable. People can try to break you, but they find nothing to grab onto, nothing to shake you with, because you are rooted in your purpose. There is a reason control is respected in leaders. People follow those who keep calm under pressure. In times of chaos, the man who can control his emotions is the man who becomes the anchor for others. Everyone else may panic, but he stays clear-minded and makes decisions that move the situation forward. This is what separates a leader from the crowd. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be steady. A steady hand on the wheel keeps the ship from sinking when the storm hits. That is the essence of control being power. Now, when we talk about patience over impulse, we are going even deeper into the art of emotional mastery. Impulse is that quick spark that tells you to do something right now without thinking of the consequences. It feels powerful in the moment, but it usually leaves destruction in its path. Patience, on the other hand, is strategy. Patience is about seeing the bigger picture instead of chasing the temporary feeling. The strongest move is often no move at all. That doesn't mean you are weak, it means you are calculating. You know that not every situation deserves your reaction, not every insult deserves your response, not every opportunity needs to be rushed. Patience gives you time to choose the right action, and the right action is what creates progress. A man who lives on impulse is always chasing. He spends money as soon as it comes in. He responds to anger as soon as he feels it. He speaks before he thinks. He fights before he weighs the cost. His life is unstable because he never slows down to ask if this move builds or destroys. Patience changes that. Patience teaches you to pause, to observe, to analyze. That pause alone can save your future. It can save your relationships, your career, your freedom, even your life. The man who has patience is not rushed by the world. He moves when the time is right, not when his emotions scream at him. Look at nature for proof. A seed does not become a tree overnight. It takes seasons, it takes patience, it takes care and time. But once it becomes a tree, no storm can break it easily. Life works the same way. When you move with patience, you give yourself time to grow deep roots. You allow your decisions to be strong, unshakable, and wise. Impulse is short-lived. Patience is long-lasting. Impulse builds frustration. Patience builds legacy. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. Patience is not laziness. Patience is active. It is the discipline to keep working while waiting for results, to keep building when you don't yet see the reward, to keep planting seeds even when the soil looks empty. Impulse is about reacting to the moment. Patience is about committing to the vision. The man who chooses patience over impulse is the man who understands that life is a marathon. He doesn't sprint for instant gratification, he runs steadily for the finish line. Think about how patience separates a hustler from a gambler. The gambler is moved by impulse, placing bets with no plan, hoping to win big in a moment. The hustler is moved by patience, stacking small wins day after day, building something that lasts. That is the difference between luck and strategy. One burns out quick, the other keeps going strong. Impulse also blinds you, it makes you react without seeing the whole picture. Patience gives you vision. It allows you to step back, see the angles, and then make the smartest move. That is why patience will always outpower impulse. The man who reacts may win a moment, but the man who waits and plans wins the war. Control and patience work together. Control keeps you from being a puppet to emotions, and patience gives you the wisdom to act with precision. Together they make you unstoppable. People will not be able to shake you with insults. They will not be able to rush you into mistakes. They will not be able to push you off your path. You will move when you decide to move, and when you do, it will be powerful, calculated, and unstoppable. Energy is currency, and the way you spend it decides the wealth of your future. Too often people treat their energy like it is endless, throwing it at every argument, every distraction, every minor situation that doesn't even matter a year from now. They give their energy to gossip, to negativity, to pointless drama, and then wonder why they feel drained when it comes time to build something real. Energy is like money in your account. If you spend recklessly, you wake up broke. If you invest wisely, you watch it multiply. Every word you speak, every thought you allow, every action you take is either an investment or a withdrawal. When you learn to see your energy as a resource, you begin to guard it with discipline. You stop handing it to people who don't deserve it, and you stop wasting it on battles that don't bring you closer to your vision. Think about how much power is lost in emotional outbursts. A single argument can drain you for hours, even days, leaving you unable to focus on your goals. That is energy spent with no return. On the other hand, using that same energy to study, to build a skill, to create a plan, to take care of your body, multiplies into opportunities and growth. The more intentional you are with where your energy goes, the more powerful you become. People who waste energy on small things stay stuck in small lives, while those who channel it into purpose rise to levels others cannot imagine. The difference is not talent, it is not luck, it is energy management. Your energy also attracts what comes into your life. When you carry anger and bitterness, you invite more of it. When you walk with peace and focus, you invite opportunities that align with that energy. This is not magic, it is the law of how people respond to you. Nobody wants to work with the person who is always chaotic, always emotional, always unstable. People are drawn to those who are steady, positive, and determined. Your energy is your brand. It speaks before you open your mouth. It tells the world if you are serious about your vision or if you are just reacting to whatever comes. Protect it like you would protect your name, because once your energy is gone, your movement slows down. The mistake many make is thinking they can pour energy into everything and still succeed. They think they can argue online, waste nights partying, entertain negativity, and then somehow still have enough left to build a business, strengthen their mind, and take care of their health. But life does not work like that. You only get a limited supply each day. If you use it wrong, it is gone. That is why wise people say no more often than they say yes. They are not avoiding life, they are protecting their energy for what matters most. Saying no to nonsense is saying yes to growth. Saying no to distractions is saying yes to progress. Energy conservation is one of the secrets that separate those who rise from those who stay stuck. Now, pain is a part of life, but what you do with it decides who you become. Pain can either break you or build you, depending on whether you let it control you or you choose to turn it into purpose. Everyone faces losses, betrayals, failures, and struggles. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is not that one had an easier path, it is that one turned the pain into fuel. Pain is heavy, but it carries hidden lessons. When you run from it, it follows you. When you embrace it, it transforms you. Every setback is a classroom, every heartbreak is a teacher, every failure is a mirror. If you can stop reacting emotionally to pain and instead start asking what it is trying to teach you, you unlock growth that others never reach. Pain shows you where your weaknesses are. It reveals the areas of your life that need strengthening. When you get rejected, you learn to refine your skills. When you lose money, you learn to manage better. When people betray you, you learn who deserves your loyalty. Without pain, you would never sharpen your vision. But too many people let pain keep them stuck in bitterness, replaying the hurt instead of using it as a stepping stone. That is why they never move forward. The key is to take that same pain and redirect it into purpose. Instead of asking why me, ask what now? What can I build out of this? How can I grow from this? What can this teach me about myself? History is filled with people who use pain as their foundation for greatness. Many who built empires came from poverty. Many who inspired the world came from rejection. Many who created art that lasted centuries did so from a place of deep struggle. Their pain gave them perspective, and they chose to let it push them instead of crush them. When you take your pain and give it direction, it becomes the fuel that makes you unstoppable. The man who never faced hardship will never know his full strength. The man who faced it and learned to use it can withstand anything. The most powerful part of pain is that it gives meaning to your mission. A man who has never suffered often has no reason to fight. But a man who has felt loss, who has tasted failure, who has carried struggle, finds fire in his soul to make sure others do not feel what he felt, or to make sure he never returns to that place again. That is where purpose is born. Purpose does not come from comfort, it comes from the battle. It is forged in the fire of challenges. When you stop running from pain and instead allow it to shape you, your life gains direction. Suddenly, you are no longer just chasing success for yourself. You are building something that carries meaning, something that touches others, something that outlives the pain itself. Even the way you process pain affects your energy. If you dwell on it, it drains you. If you redirect it, it empowers you. Pain without purpose is suffering. Pain with purpose is strength. The choice is always yours. You can let it define you as a victim, or you can let it define you as a fighter. Both paths are open, but only one leads to growth. Pain does not disappear, but it transforms when you use it as motivation to become more disciplined, more focused, more determined. The same pain that once felt like a chain can become the very thing that pushes you to break every chain holding you back. Energy and pain are deeply connected. If you waste energy, you lack the strength to turn pain into purpose. If you protect your energy, you have the power to transform every struggle into fuel for your vision. Together, they teach you that life is not about avoiding hardship, but about managing yourself through it. Master your energy, master your pain, and you master your direction. When the world around you feels like it is falling apart, when people are panicking, when chaos is everywhere, the man who can remain calm is the one who rises to the top. Chaos is a test. It is not designed to destroy you, it is designed to reveal you. In times of pressure, people's true character shows. Some collapse, some panic, some lose control of themselves and throw away everything they have worked for. But the man who can keep his mind clear, his heart steady, and his emotions controlled becomes the one others look to for guidance. That calm presence is rare because most people allow themselves to be consumed by fear. Fear clouds judgment, it rushes decisions, it blinds vision. Calmness is clarity. When you remain composed, you see the details others miss, you recognize opportunities others are too panicked to notice, and you make choices that put you in position to win. Think of it like a storm. When heavy winds blow and the rain is crashing down, most people scramble, running with no direction, acting out of desperation. But the one who stays still, who keeps his eyes open, who moves carefully through the storm, is the one who makes it safely. Life throws storms at everyone, but those storms are not the end, they are the training ground. Every challenge you face is a chance to strengthen your ability to stay cool in chaos. The calm man does not deny that the storm is real, but he refuses to let the storm control him. He knows panic is a choice, and he chooses peace instead. This is why leadership is not about words, it is about energy. People trust the man who does not fold when things get tough. They gravitate to the one who is steady because that steadiness makes them feel secure. When a business struggles, employees look to the leader. When a family suffers, they look to the head of the household. When a team faces defeat, they look to the one who still believes victory is possible. Calmness in chaos is not just about personal strength, it is about being a pillar for others. The ability to stand tall when everything around you shakes is what separates a man of influence from a man who gets lost in the crowd. Staying calm in chaos does not mean you feel nothing. It means you control how you express what you feel. You may feel anger, sadness, or fear, but you do not let those emotions dictate your actions. You use them as signals instead of chains. Anger shows you what matters to you. Fear shows you what you must prepare for. Sadness shows you what you value. But you respond with intelligence, not impulse. This level of self-mastery turns you into someone who cannot be broken by circumstances. Chaos loses its power over you once you realize that peace is an internal decision, not an external gift. Connected to this truth is the idea that discipline builds respect. Many men chase respect by trying to show strength, by demanding recognition, by forcing people to acknowledge them. But real respect does not come from shouting louder, it comes from showing discipline over time. Discipline is attractive because it is rare. It is easy to live by impulse, to quit when things get hard, to indulge in comfort instead of chasing growth. Most people follow that path, which is why disciplined individuals stand out. When others see someone who refuses to fold under pressure, who stays committed to his word, who keeps grinding when no one is watching, they cannot help but respect it. Discipline is the proof that you mean what you say. Anybody can speak about goals, about dreams, about visions. The world is full of talkers. What makes people respect you is consistency. When you wake up early, when you stay focused, when you train your body, when you keep learning, when you resist distractions, you are building a reputation without speaking a word. People may not like you, they may not agree with you, but they will respect the discipline they see. It is impossible not to, because discipline is the foundation of mastery. Respect gained through discipline lasts longer than respect gained through force. If you force people to respect you through intimidation, they will obey only when you are present. The moment you leave, that respect disappears. But if you earn respect through discipline, it stays even when you are not around. People will speak of you with admiration because they recognize the effort you put into your craft, your character, and your commitments. This kind of respect cannot be faked. It has to be earned day after day, choice after choice, sacrifice after sacrifice. Discipline also builds self-respect, which is even more important than the respect of others. When you live with discipline, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You stop breaking promises to yourself. Every time you say you will wake up and you actually do. Every time you say you will finish something and you actually finish it, you build self-trust. That trust turns into confidence, and that confidence radiates outward, making others respect you too. People can sense when someone respects themselves because it shows in the way they carry their body, the way they speak, and the way they move through life. Discipline does not mean you never feel tired, lazy, or distracted. It means you do not let those feelings decide your actions. It means you move even when you do not feel like moving. You train even when your body wants to rest. You study even when your mind wants to relax. You focus even when distractions call for your attention. That is the essence of discipline. Feelings are temporary, but discipline builds permanent results. And when people see those results, when they witness the consistency, respect naturally follows. Staying calm in chaos and building discipline are deeply connected. Calmness allows you to make wise decisions under pressure, while discipline ensures you follow through with those decisions consistently. Together, they create a man who is unshakable, someone others can rely on, someone who commands respect without demanding it. In a world where most people crumble under stress and give in to temptation, the man who can remain calm and disciplined becomes rare, and rare always gets valued. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons a man can hold, yet it is the most underestimated. Most people believe strength comes from speaking loudly, defending every word, responding to every insult, and making sure they are heard in every situation. But the truth is, silence carries more weight than words when used with wisdom. Silence is not weakness, it is restraint. It shows that you value your peace more than pointless arguments, that you value your focus more than temporary validation, that you value your mission more than the opinions of those who cannot see your vision. In a world where everyone is rushing to speak, the man who stays silent stands out because his actions become his voice. Every time you hold back from unnecessary arguments, you save energy for things that actually matter. When someone disrespects you, the instinct is to clap back and prove them wrong. But think about what happens when you do that. You have already handed them control over your energy. Your reaction shows that they succeeded in pulling you out of character. Silence, on the other hand, leaves them powerless. They expect chaos and you give them calm. They expect a fight and you give them peace. That silence burns deeper than any comeback could, because it shows them that their words have no weight in your life. Your composure speaks louder than your reaction ever could. Silence also allows you to study people. When you are not rushing to speak, you are free to observe. You hear what others reveal without even realizing it. You catch the truth between their words, the patterns in their actions, the motives behind their moves. Most people reveal themselves if you give them enough silence to do it. The man who listens more than he speaks is the man who sees more than others see. Knowledge is often hidden in moments of quiet. If you are always talking, you miss it. If you are silent, you collect it and you use it when the time is right. That patience and observation turn you into a strategist rather than just another voice in the crowd. Your silence becomes even more powerful when combined with visible progress. While others waste time proving themselves with words, you prove yourself with results. There is nothing louder than success. You do not have to tell people you are focused if they see you building every day. You do not have to prove that you are strong if they see you stand through storms that broke others. You do not have to declare your worth if they see the life you are creating. Silence and success together create a statement so undeniable that words become unnecessary. People may doubt you at first. They may question your moves, but when results appear, there is nothing left to argue. Silence also protects your vision. Every time you announce your goals too early, you open the door for doubt, negativity, and distractions. Not everyone wants to see you win, and some will do everything they can to discourage you once they know your plans. When you keep silent, you shield your dreams until they are strong enough to stand on their own. You allow your work to grow in private so that when it shows in public, it cannot be denied. Silence is not about hiding forever. It is about building until speaking becomes unnecessary. By then, your reality is the proof. When you combine silence with action, you develop an aura that people respect. They begin to recognize that you are not moved by noise, you are not distracted by attention, and you are not dependent on approval. That energy intimidates those who thrive on reactions, and it inspires those who are searching for real strength. The ability to remain silent when others would explode and to keep building when others would quit is what sets you apart. That is why silence is often the loudest statement you can make. Now, when it comes to the marathon mindset, it is the understanding that life is not about quick reactions but about long-term vision. A marathon is not won by sprinting with all your energy in the first mile. It is won by pacing yourself, conserving energy, and focusing on the finish line. The same is true in life. Most people live with sprint mentality. They want results right now. They want success overnight. They want recognition without sacrifice. That impatience makes them crash before they ever get close to their goals. They start projects and abandon them. They chase every new trend and lose direction. They confuse motion with progress and wonder why they never arrive. The marathon mindset teaches you to see beyond the moment. It tells you to build with patience, to stack bricks daily even when nobody is watching, to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow. The vision is bigger than instant gratification. When you live with the marathon mindset, you stop competing with everyone else's pace. You understand that their journey is theirs and yours is yours. Some will sprint ahead and burn out. Some will walk slow and lose momentum. But you keep your rhythm steady and disciplined because you know your eyes are on a destination that cannot be reached overnight. This mindset requires emotional control. A sprinter is emotional, rushing with adrenaline, reacting to the moment. A marathon runner is strategic, moving with calculation, staying calm no matter who passes them in the beginning. In life, many will appear to get ahead of you. They may shine fast, but quick fire burns out quicker. If you let their pace control yours, you lose sight of your own race. The marathon mindset keeps you grounded in the truth that long-term vision always outlasts short-term hype. The beauty of the marathon mindset is that it allows you to turn every setback into part of the process. In a sprint, a stumble can cost you everything. In a marathon, a stumble is just a small moment in a much longer journey. You can recover, adjust, and keep moving forward. That is why people who think long-term never quit after a single failure. They see failure as feedback, not the finish. They adjust their strategy and keep going. The finish line is still ahead, and no single obstacle can erase the vision. This way of thinking also transforms how you value your time. A man with sprint mentality wastes days chasing things that don't matter because he is obsessed with short bursts of pleasure. A man with marathon mentality values every hour, every decision, every step, because he knows it adds to the bigger picture. He is willing to delay gratification, to sacrifice comfort, to endure temporary struggle because he understands that what he is building will last. Patience becomes his strength, discipline becomes his weapon, and vision becomes his guide. The marathon mindset also teaches resilience. There will be moments when the journey feels endless, when fatigue hits, when distractions tempt you to quit. But the man who embraces the marathon knows that endurance is part of the reward. Every mile teaches toughness. Every challenge builds character. Every step strengthens willpower. Over time, he becomes unshakable because he has proven to himself that he can outlast any obstacle. He does not need to rush. He knows the destination is inevitable if he keeps moving. Silence and the marathon mindset are deeply connected. Silence protects your focus while you build, and the marathon mindset gives you the patience to stay consistent. Together, they form a combination that creates unstoppable momentum. While others burn out trying to sprint their way to success and lose themselves in noise, you stay steady, silent, and strategic, watching your vision unfold piece by piece. At the end of the day, life will test you in ways you never expected. There will be storms you cannot avoid and temptations that will try to pull you off track. But the man who learns to stay calm in the middle of chaos and lives with unshakable discipline is the man who rises above it all. Calmness gives you clarity when the world is loud and confusing, and discipline builds the foundation of respect that can never be taken away. These qualities together create a force that no setback, no distraction, and no opposition can stop. Remember, the marathon is not about how fast you run. It is about how strong you remain when pressure comes. If you master these principles, there is no limit to what you can build, no ceiling to how far you can rise, and no obstacle that can stand in your way. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for being part of this journey. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay calm, and always remember the marathon continues.